New research suggests that Gen Z will redefine Britain's high streets into social, tech driven hubs by 2050. According to the Retail Gazette and to new Retail 2050 research from American Express conducted in partnership with futures consultancy Trajectory, success on the high street will depend not just on what businesses sell, but on, quote, how they make consumers feel, blending technology, experience, and community into every visit, end quote. For Gen Z, the high street visit is about far more than shopping, says the study. Two-thirds or 65% say each trip should deliver something they can't get online, while nearly 4 in 5, 79%, want future retail destinations to blend shopping with dining, drinking, and leisure. Three-quarters or 76% of Gen Z believe retailers should use AI to create more immersive in-store experiences, while 60% say they would be more likely to visit shops offering digital try-ons or AI-generated styling advice. Lisa, you were just in London, so we're going to go to you on this one. Are you buying or selling the evolution of Britain's high streets into social, tech-driven hubs by 2050?
I have to say, when I first read the headline, my first immediate reaction was, no way. Like, that was my immediate, like, quick reaction. And then as I thought about it and I stepped back, I was just in London. I moved my youngest daughter over there to do a master's program for a year. And geez, I thought New York was the city that didn't sleep, but London, I don't know, it may have something on New York. It's pretty heavy traffic over there, and crazy at all times. But as I stepped back and thought about it and really loved all the statistics in the article because it's true, I do think the Gen Z is demanding experiential. They're demanding connection points where they want to meet up and go together. It's kind of going to have to, I think, replace what the mall was to the boomers, right? If you think
Mhm.
about it, now Gen Z wants to be on the high street. They want to be social. I think that they're going to have to make people want to go there.
Yeah.
Because it is a trip, right? And I think it is going to happen. I do. I mean, and as I stepped back and thought about it, I go, okay, 2050, that is a while from now. So I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure they can figure out how to make it happen. But I think they're going to have to do it to keep the real estate prices in check.
Yeah. Well, and Lisa, how would you be advising brands, especially having your background working for some large brands, especially in the fashion and apparel space? How would you be advising them to start thinking about this? Where would you be telling them to invest as they're trying to like build this strategy for 2050?
I do think it is about the consumer touch points. I'll go back to one of my old alma maters, who is doing quite well today. So shout out to Levi Strauss and
Yes.
company. Levi's is having a moment, and it's amazing to see. And I think, I remember when we started putting tailor shops, on Regent Street, right, and Oxford Street, and that
Mhm.
allowed for that connection, that gathering, also allowed for that creativity. So I think you have to take a step back and think about, how does my brand connect with consumers? And
Right.
then what experience could I give them that is so relevant to my brand?
Sure. And how maybe like what are you driving them there to do too? Like the tailoring, for example. Like maybe you're not buying something that time, but you're bringing them in because you're offering a special kind of tailoring or enhancement to their current product, and then you're building on that experience while they're there. That makes sense.
100%. And you're building on kind of the passion for the brand, because everybody loves a story about their old Levi's or their first Levi's. So imagine you're bringing it in and maybe blending it with new product and old
Yeah.
product.
Yeah.
I think, another way we've seen the sports brands show up and be interactive. I think, the big guys, Nike and Adidas, have been testing this for some time. I don't know that they've
Mhm.
exactly got it right. The one thing I will say, and I think I said this in a question the last time,
Yeah.
they got to make sure the tech works. They got to make
Yep.
sure the tech
Mhm.
works.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Lots of digital screens, right, Lisa? That's what they need.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And they have to make sure it's interactive.
Yes, absolutely. Chris, are you in agreement with Lisa this time around? What do you think of high streets and their Gen Z approach?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything she said. I'm gonna when I step back and I put my, God, how long is it now? I don't even want to age myself. Almost 30 years of being in retail. I just kind of look at this headline and think it's a nothing headline. It's not saying anything really all that, evocative. Like, okay, younger generations want tech, they want more social experiences, they want a reason to go to a store. Yeah, it's our job as retailers to figure that out and how to do that. It's been that same way forever. It's
Yeah.
not anything new, so it's not earth shattering to me. It's just good retailing. The way I like the word that came to my mind as I was listening to Lisa talk is like, yeah, you're on high street, you got to have a good flagship strategy to hook people and get them to come in, and the tech's got to work. So like, yeah, I don't know. I thought this was more of a clickbait headline than an actual like transformative indication of how things are going to change.
Sure, that makes sense. Manola, close us out here. What do you think? Where do you land on this? Clickbait, or is there strategy here that people should be thinking about?
I mean, I think it's a little bit of both, right? Because
Yeah,
yes, young consumers, they are, for them, buying is not the experience. Buying is just, you can do that online. You have so many options. It's not this, we went and walked the mall and that was the experience, right? Kind of like shopping and maybe thinking about shopping and or transacting. So yeah, I think it's, that's just that their lives are more tech infused, and that's just how they're going to live their lives in retail and in everything, right? So I do think it's going to be a natural evolution, and it's underway, so it'll happen. But is it super shocking that it'll happen? Maybe not.
what do you think about, like, one of the things that I thought was missing from this article is worrying about product availability. Like, there's nothing in here talking about, like, how do you make sure that you have the inventory? Like, if they are going to be coming physically to the high streets, like, what is your investment in your product strategy and what the right products are that you're going to be carrying on shelves? Manola, especially, I think this is important in the beauty category. Like, I want to be able to try that, moisturizer that I saw on TikTok if I'm going to the high street. Do you think that that's a component that retailers are thinking about, or is this something that AI is able to do, as they insinuate in the article?
AI can't do it yet. I don't, and there's things where like I don't know that AI can tell you what a moisturizer is going to feel like on your
Right.
face ever. But uh, so yeah, I think it's that balancing of and as you add more experience, right, you shrink the space to hold actual goods that you're
Right.
trying to convert people into. So yeah, I do think it's a point, and they're going to have to be smart about, maybe which categories. Absolutely, it's non-negotiable. You have to have it in the store, and which places it's like, okay, maybe you're buying this jacket and you can use a magic mirror to see it in the navy versus the gray that we have in the store, and we'll ship it to you next day, right? So I
Right.
think there's places where you can have that compromise, but yeah, there's going to be things that you need to touch, and you need to swatch in the inside of your wrist to see if it looks good
Right.
on you or not.
So something that comes to my mind is an area that I think we underemphasize in the retail and fashion space is the importance of planning. Because what you're talking about is the inventory at the right place at the right time, and really how the planning organizations are really going to think about end to end and be able to hit on multiple experiences. So I think it's a watch out for retailers, because I don't think we put enough emphasis into that, either from a people priority or tools. And that's the one thing, as soon as you asked Manola the question, that came to my mind,
Yeah.
because I'm super passionate about it. Because, I used to think the merchant was the most important role. And now I sometimes say planning, I do say plan, it's the central nervous system of the company. And everything has to run
Mhm.
off of that engine. And I think it's going to need to be prioritized when we think about all the things we talked about today, where AI is going to play a role, because it really is right product, right place, right time. And how do you get it there?